Hello boys, my name is Yoshi. Welcome back to, well, mostly the bonus content stuff of Future Connected. A little bit of a warning ahead of time. There's actually not much in this game, but I did promise that I would at least do some of the other setup, so I'm going to start by wrapping up the bonus content and do a grind setup before, in my final video, doing the unique monster setup. So, yes, my game time is a little bit higher. Well, that's because I spent most of the time actually doing my grind and collectibles. For those of you who don't know, I just kind of used extra mode to level my characters down to level 70, and I kind of just basically did a bunch of battles with them in the Igna area. I was able to eventually get up to level 79 when I re-merged. Anyways, we left off doing some other side quests, only to get stuck at them because they were a little bit too difficult. Specifically about, well, 80. And yes, it's raining, and if you're wondering why I started it with rain, I decided to make the battle go a little bit longer, or my view go a bit longer until it was raining. Because as it turns out, this guy is only fightable during rain, and he is a unique monster we have not taken out yet, so we're going to do that. So I think to try and simplify this video to the simplest, I'm going to call this the unique monster video. So starting with this monster for no real reason, and then basically just working my way in little order, we're going to take down every single unique monster in the game. This is for multiple reasons. One, to get extra unique monster experience, and two, to get other stuff. By the way, the extra unique monsters will not count during this if they're in a quest. Those are basically just one-time monsters you can only fight during a quest. There's no way you can fight them otherwise. Anyways, he's pretty easy, so we already took that out. We will be skipping some that we've already taken out before, like Delar and Lepstart, but I will at least show you where his location is. Anyways, this guy is located basically just north of this landmark over here. Speaking of which, while we're here, we are going to jump into the water and locate this, because this is actually a landmark, Purifying Falls, that we have to miss. It also happens to have some nice collectibles as well. I wish we had found this sooner. Alright. Anyways, during the grind setup, I did a ton of collectible grinding for like 50 minutes, and I finally got every single collectible in the game. Some of them, especially these end ones, two ones I'm about to do, are really difficult. But thankfully, we're able to complete them. So we complete that category, which gives us Valak Sandals. And this finishes that, and that gives us the Valak Top. I will show off both of these collectibles, what these both look like, though I don't think these actually serve much of a use. Okay, so now, for this one, we get trendy goggles, trendy gloves. Essentially, these are exclusive collectibles for extra stuff. Also, apparently the area gets more interesting as you collect more stuff, so eventually there's more stuff that gets added to the area, so that's kind of a nice thing you get for completing this. Anyways, completing the full set doesn't actually really give you any beneficial gear, as far as I'm aware. It just gives you extra separate gear slots for two characters in particular. So I'll go ahead and show off. So the Valak item is exclusively for, what? Jeez, I can pronounce her name right. Melia. And the trendy goggles are for Shulk. To save you time, I'm not going to show what they look like outside of the menu. Instead, I think I'm just going to rotate them instead. That'll probably be faster. So anyways, let's quickly put on the Valak stuff. As you can see, it is not intended to be worn at all. In fact, Valak Mountain is actually a completely separate area altogether. And now we'll at least scroll that around. I just figured I'd at least show these off to characters while doing that. Then we have trendy goggles. Oh, this one is really goofy. Yeah, I think this is like the swimwear one. Holy crap. This one's actually kind of funny. Why does Shulk always get the coolest clothes? Although I guess Melia does too, but like, this looks really freaking cool on him, actually. Anyways, these are significantly weaker than all of the other stats because, as you can see, they both have very, very low gear score, so we will never use them in battle. Supposedly... Essentially, this is one of his other looks, probably, from calling at some point. Gonna immediately put back Alcone stuff now. I just figured I would show off those individual saps. Unfortunately, they don't seem to serve any use. There is no Valak Mountain in this room of the game. That was pretty much only present in the OG game of... Well, yeah, like, basically in the base game, Valak Mountain is a big area that you go to, but there is no Valak Mountain in this area. I did initially think about what it might be, but, like, literally there is no Valak Mountain, so really, those collectibles serve no purpose other than completing the other stuff. Because of that, doing a speedrun, you're probably better off just skipping that, because those items are actually even weaker than your starting gear. Like, I wish they would have at least thrown a collectible next to us, but oh well. I guess you can't win them all, as they say. Anyway, all jokes aside, yes, I did do that off screen. And as far as I'm aware, you cannot get higher than rank 4 gems in this, but you probably don't need higher than rank 4 gems. Also, I think the highest is actually rank 5, so it's not really that much higher, actually. Anyways, I'll show the first one first. Oh, by the way, there are nebula that spawn if it is raining, particularly the Aqua Climb. So anyways, if we head to this rock over here, we will find our first unique monster over here. Note, it has not appeared. There's a reason for that. That's because unique monsters have only a set chance of reappearing, and even then, they may actually disappear once you leave it. This is a big bunnet, and he's located about right here. Of course, we are not going to be fighting him since he's one of the very first unique monsters we fought in the actual playthrough, which means we have already killed him. Anyways, I'm going to skip to Zephyr's Council for this next one. Speed of which, yes, I did find this off screen, although to be fair, I didn't really look out. Okay, this one actually didn't take too long. So this one we did miss, is Highborn Exalador. I did skip it for a specific reason. He is a spike damage character. For those of you who don't know what spike damage is, essentially it acts as kind of a defensive measure where if you auto-attack an enemy, with this effect active, it'll constantly do damage to you, and it gets really annoying. Some bosses in particular can actually have super deadly counter spikes. One infamous one in particular essentially insta-kills you if you hit it and you don't have instant death on. It's pretty much forcing you to have instant death resist in order to survive. Oh yeah, and there's also these other rain enemies they spawn, but there's actually not really much reason for that. Anyways, that was the second unique monster. We are, however, going to stay in this area because there is a unique fog beast we haven't encountered yet either. Right over here, this Sartorial Wolf. Note, this is a automatic link. By the way, one thing you can do that I forgot about is apparently you can use Eater to remove the buffs as well, but and have them not actually be a higher level, but I don't know if it works well. This is a little bit too many enemies for my Vikings, so I'm gonna just immediately use Yellow Chaos to get rid of them. Alright. Otherwise, most of this video is just going to be killing all of the Lily monsters. Alright. I like how there's always one monster that just kind of appears there for some reason. Anyway, so I did learn a little bit of a problem setup. Because of the way the new art coin system works, Yes, you can get unlimited art coins, but apparently there's not actually enough unique monsters where you can get it just killing them all at once. You actually do have to re-kill some of them. The same also goes for the Fog Beast too. That means you should actually, like, if you want to like actually go for all the upgrades, then you theoretically should be slaughtering every single Fog Beast you encounter. Otherwise, it will get messy later. Trust me. Anyways, this next one, funnily enough, is actually conveniently right here. I believe this is one of the ads that we skipped early during our playthrough. He is just kind of chilling in the back here, though. He's not really that hard. It's called Grotex Dements. He is surrounded by these series of pods, so if you are a little bit worried, then you're probably going to want to use, Oh, I went a little bit too far away from that guy, my bad. You may want to actually kill the weaker pods first before you do anything, or they will probably pull on with him.
The enemy's weak, but don't drop your guard.
Okay, that was pretty quick. I think normally what you are supposed to do is kill all of the weaker pods first, one at a time, which will cause them to respawn as ads.
I'm feeling it. We can definitely do this. This is the Monado's power. Come on, we can do it. Behold the power of the Monado.
Oh wow, there's an AoE daze in here as well? Okay. Not gonna lie, I don't like that the panic theme or pretty much death theme, I guess, in this game takes effect in the middle of a battle, which ruins the awesome unique monster music. If the character is not dead, but they just happen to have super low tension, it'll work like that.
Okay, let's finish this.
Alright, there we go. Anyway, that part was done. We do want to get a lot of earth crystals in here. They're actually kind of a problem if you do not properly. Anyways, another unique dad. Now, if you were doing this in the normal way, you probably want to kill though, and then aggro and remove all of the pods first before you finish him. If you do this enough, you'll eventually be able to kill him, but it takes a very long time to kill him. On top of that, we were kind of under-leveled the first here, so I opted to just skip him, because then you could just do that. Anyways, Booming Fendrick is next on the list, but we already got it, so let's move to the next one, which I think I actually got here anyway. This one is on the top of Lamentation Ridge. There's actually a Fog Beast near this, so similar to before, we'll be able to kill him along with the others. So let's go ahead and kill this Orega. Unfortunately, there's only 2 unique Fog Beasts in the area that are worth... Otherwise, yes, if you're wondering, I did level to about 79 before coming here, just as an extra act to prepare for the game's hardest bosses. Because the 2 quests that I'm actually doing basically have the hardest bosses of the game. And in fact, they're probably even harder than the Fog Beast himself, if you ask me. I just realized, I think using Eater on the ones that are not the Fog Beast is probably smarter. Anyways, this one is particularly easy to aggro and shouldn't actually take that long. You just kind of walk around here. Depending on where you go, the other monsters should eventually appear once you move around here. They are sound monsters, so they aggro when you are moving nearby them. However, it looks like he didn't spawn. That's okay, because we've already killed him before. So, we're going to go to the next spot instead. Oh wait, this is actually the Air Marshal next. Thankfully, Air Marshal we already got in the last video, so we'll skip that as well. Okay, so now we need to go to west of Cinnabar Plateau. This is kind of in the middle of the spot to the right. It's actually rather close to where this thing is, but we have to go near this left side area first, which is also next to this big Luga over here. Anyways, it's pretty simple to actually get to. You drop down in the central area, and you'll see this big guy called Quantum Helium, flanked by a bunch of bunnies, or Benias. We recommend pulling out and killing them first if you can, because they will pull whenever you engage the boss, so anytime you can pull them without battle would be ideal. If you instead go straight for the boss, every single one of them will pull instead, so if you're lower level, probably best to just use the lure strategy like I'm showing now, just to make it easier. You can use this on all of the characters if you want, but yeah, that's how you would do that, and then you would fight this guy once he is by himself. But honestly, we have a full Punch Spectre bar, and the enemy is weak, as Shulk says, in this state, so we honestly probably don't need it, so we're just gonna do this other stuff, throw in a couple of abilities, and just for fun, try to get a cool Black Slash here, and then we're going to use Yellow Chaos on to just AoE all the enemies down. And I missed the first. Hey, I got Idjit. That's fine. Should probably still kill him anyway. Do have all of the Punch Specters, so it does a lot. Okay, so they did survive, probably because I missed that at the beginning. That's fine. Buster seemed to finish the deal, though. There we go. Another art coin gotten. You'll always get art coins the first time you defeat these monsters. However, the second time you do it, you may sometimes fail to get the art coin. Thankfully, I will show you a strategy on how to farm that in a minute. I just need to focus on doing other stuff. Unfortunately, the Fog Beasts are non-unique stuff, so I'm not going to actually consider them as part of the set. So for all intents and purposes, this is all of the unique locations I've seen. Alright, so next we have Confluent Usa. This is one of the trollier unique monsters I think I've ever encountered in probably this whole game. He has a very massive aggro radius for some reason, and is actually very awkward. He flies between the central area and a couple of other stuff. I think, yeah, see, there he is, right there. He's also linked, so he'll pull with other ads, and on top of it, there's also a Fog Beast nearby, and can just get really trolly. Because of this, my recommendation is to probably just kill the Fog Beast first, if you are lower level especially, because he will pull with the other ads, and I think I will do that as an extra safety, since it does upgrade the monsters when you use them. So it would take them from about level 69 to 71, and we can't pull them near that area either, which is kind of annoying, since that's probably one of the only areas where we could pull it from anyway. Alright, there we go. We got him. Because this monster is close to an edge, he can sometimes also knock you off into the cliff, so we do need to be careful of that, although I don't know if this particular monster has a do that, so I know some of them can blow down. Yes, it's not actually a knockback thing, instead they say blow down in this game, but that's effectively that. Anyway, another monster down, another coin gained. I'm gonna save those coins for at the end of the video, since I'm gonna need to do a lot of this anyway. Anyway, remember this jerk that pulled from like 15 feet across the map and always failed us? We are much stronger now, so now we are just going to outright take it out. Since we do have the level advantage, we do not have to actually pull the ads. If you are doing this at a lower level, then make sure you have the Pun Spectre thing locked before you do this, or this will be very hard without it. Which, by the way, is called Deviant Strike in this game. Honestly, I'm just gonna call it the Pun Spectre super attack, because it basically is their super attack, and I think that just sounds funnier, if you ask me. Anyway, it's like, whatever you call it, yeah, you want to have that before you do this fight. That way you can just stun all of them. Looks like he also has the ability to calm all enemies, and apparently also heal too, but okay, we were able to kill him though, before they came in. Turkin, thankfully, are pretty weak, as they're kind of like the humanoid type ones. Yeah, so they are not going to take one kill at all. Probably don't even need to loot any of the treasures. I'm just looting them for purpose sakes. Oh yes, and as you can see, even if the monster... And yes, if you're wondering, even if the monster is technically an upgraded inhibitor, it can technically be a bit easier to do. Anyways, we got that down. Okay, so to save time, I'm actually gonna walk near here, which is a little bit out of reach, but you'll see why, because, remember those old dinos in this tunnel area that we pretty much entirely skipped due to their trolley mechanism? Well, I'm tired of waiting, and personally, I do not like dealing with this setup anymore, so we are gonna actually battle them now. These big tortoises over here, yep, we're battling them. Thankfully, Custodian Barrett himself is not linked, but the other ads will automatically pull if you do the other fight step. These are a little bit more dangerous, so we definitely want to kill them before. Otherwise, yeah, we're basically just fighting big tortoises. As a safety, we want to kill the others first before we take out this boss, otherwise it's going to be very difficult. Even though we do have Emerald, it'll be fun. Also, I think those flies will pull too, because like I said, the beast has an additional effect where it just automatically aggroes any monsters near it, and these ones in particular are very dangerous. Due to their ability, I think they have some RNXC abilities, I don't know, it's just they did a lot of damage. They also had a really high level the first time I came here. And the actual fly beast itself is actually quite deadly. Yeah, like, it's like 71. Actually thought it was higher, although to be fair... Oh, see, there we go. Anyways, we went here because the Fog Beast is also one of the very unique monsters in the game. That means it itself is actually a unique monster. So that's why I was trying to do that first. I wanted to basically try and aggro it a little bit late if possible. Unfortunately, we didn't. Not skip a lot of the enemies, but that's fine. We can still do the yellow chaos strat like we did before, so we'll go ahead and AoE them down first. Hopefully we just get the super effect to end the fight early. Nope, we did not. We did kill the other enemies, though, supposedly. Now we just need to kill everything else first. I can see why this fight would have been very tricky. especially at level, you pretty much had to lure them out and net out a safe distance before fighting them, or else you would straight up die. And the same thing would actually have to take place for these weaker Aphuses too, because 2 get set to level 71. Now, as it is the Fog Beast, but technically a unique monster, as you can see, the unique monster theme actually takes priority here, which is kind of cool. Alright, oh yeah, and it is also a big tortoise, so yeah, it has a lot of health. Probably more health than any other unique in probably the whole game, except for maybe the boss is probably tankier than this. But yeah, you can see why I didn't want to fight him. I was kind of correct in that he just has a lot of HP and a lot of defense, so he takes a very long time to actually die. So if you do fight him at a level, you probably are going to run yourself with Monado armor constantly. He's like, otherwise it's going to be a big struggle. I mean, not much to say. It's just that our unique fight, but because it's tanky, it just takes a little bit more longer to take down, but yeah, there we go. That art did it. And there we go. So yeah, trying to take on Nat early in the game would have been really rough. So yeah, I was smart to save that for later. By the way, we are not done with this route yet. There's actually a couple of more enemies to kill here that are technically pod beasts. I did mention I wanted to show off as many as possible, so we are going to be killing those next. Note, I am going to be killing the other enemies around this part too. Not only to make it a bit easier, but also because it seems to be a lot of stress, because there's a lot of these quad wings around as well. I swear, these quad wings are the most annoying enemy in the game. They'll literally pull from 15 feet. You know, clearly not in their range. They will still notice you. You pretty much need to be super over leveled compared to them in order for them to not see you. Fun fact, this is also one of the only areas where the slow boats even appear in the game. Dinos as well. Anyways, the monster we're looking for is actually really far over. It's around here normally. It's one of the fog beasts. And we completely skipped it the first time, but now we have access to that. By the way, fog beasts are technically on the unique monster effect as well, so they technically respawn along with the others. By the way, they actually are linked with that, so we will have to force battle both of them, unfortunately. Should be fast enough to just outright kill this one, and if that works, yeah, okay, now we can just take out the slow balls after that. We'll use Red Comet to kill a little bit quicker. Yeah, it seems like the earlier you do that, the more damage you do. It's kind of a weird timing that not many people know about. It also does seem like it might actually be completely random how much it goes up. Like how much that bar actually fills. Okay, so I will stick to linear order now to make it easier. I just thought I would go ahead and take out those fog beasts right now, because we are... I did say I want to get all the art coins, so I may as well show where they're located. Anyway, now we have a Cyclonic Yugohana. This is actually fairly straightforward. I'll just briefly show off his vocation, but it's not actually that hard to do. Like, he was basically over here. This guy was basically a required fight if you wanted to get this ether deposit over here. Which is wind, too. I think is one of the better elements in the game, since it gives you better gems, so... If you want agility up gems, then you're gonna have to do this guy first. He's also linked with his other two monsters. Thankfully, he is not a fog beast, but nice, thank goodness for that. Anyways, we got that done. Now we have Custodian. Alright, fun fact, this one is actually located very close to this cave area right here. This is actually also a fog beast, too. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's literally the exact monster I fought. Also, he did not take long to respawn at all. I thought he would respawn a bit longer. So, Custodio Barrett, yeah, that was actually one of the ones we already taken out. Okay, it looks like we are being forced to go to this next area. By the way, we are starting to get close to the point where we're actually going to face them at level again, so we will have to eventually play the game, don't you worry. If you're wondering if there are any last unique monsters, no, they're not technically respawning uniques. They are considered unique monsters, but I think they're more like one-time monsters. I think you just fight them as part of the quest. One of them is level 80 though, so that's actually the single reason why I leveled up to 79 in the first place, to just be as close to the level as possible. Okay, so there's actually 3 uniques here. I actually thought there were like less, but there is one here called Caustic, whatever. Looks like his counter spike is paralysis, so if you don't want that, have paralysis edge to avoid that. This unfortunately does have a couple of side effects. If you get any debuff because of doing the secondary effect, and speaking of which, you cannot purge the enrage effect like you did before. Oh, okay, I'm actually joking. You can actually just use the auto purge. Anyways, yes. But yes, this guy does have a counter spike. It is paralysis, which isn't too bad, but if you're a bit worried, you should probably use Purge to remove the aura. He also apparently has a Daze attack as well, so that can be very deadly if that gets used on like a healer. It could really get bad. Otherwise, he's not really that hard if you're older leveled. It's more of a you just need to make sure you purge his ability, and you'll probably take him out, no problem. But yeah, this is actually a link of 3 uniques, so to save time, I'm actually just gonna take them all out together. The first one was over there. The second one is a monster we skipped before called Deptuti Seagull. Unfortunately, he is auto-flanked by a Leg Wolf, which means you must kill him in order to get to the other stuff. Thankfully, it's fairly straightforward. The Bolt itself is very weak, as you saw there. Just kill him, and then you can fight Seagull on his own, and pretty much destroy him from there. We are going to save our Pond Spectre thing, though, because a much more tougher battle is coming up after this, and we are certainly going to need it for that battle, so I'm going to purposely just keep using that. Anyways. Yeah, I almost forgot about Mao Purge's ability, by the way, to purge spikes. Well, now that I remembered that, I'll be able to purge those auras, so I might do that if we're in danger, but we probably won't need it. Of course. Wow. All the way up to 14 art coins. We have a lot more arts now than we did before. By the end of this, we will probably be super upgraded. It'll actually be unbelievable. Holy crap. This is actually really cool. Anyways, that was the second of the two uniques. And the final one is over here, which also happens to be right next to one of the quest monsters. Thankfully, it's not nearly as bad as that one. You first want to just do a single lure attack, which will automatically lure these two other Kramar out of the area. You want to kill him first because, obviously, if you pull them with the monster, it'll be crazy. By the way, he's actually pretty high level, too. It's around level 77. It's actually the specific reason why we want to have full party meter, just in case we die, so that we can maybe use a chain attack as a last-ditch effort. Otherwise, though, it's really straightforward once you know what to do. You just need to make sure you kill the weaker enemies first. Once they're down, you can then fight the monster by himself. He is also guarding a treasure chest on the edge. It is possible to probably get it without pulling him, but I've not found any success, so yeah, we'll have to fight him normally. Probably should be using my heals to use other stuff if possible. Okay, I'm gonna use Daze first to stun him. The Daze is really good to take here. Alright. Alright, good. You stunned him. Before he gets another attack in, I'm going to quickly use Monado Armor to make it easier to protect ourselves. I think how that was only rank 3, and that did a lot of damage. And yes, I'm not surprised. Ooh, we survived that. So this is actually the main reason why he's scary. His ultimate attack. He basically immediately will use this and AoE the entire party. And it does both a topple and then immediately links into that second check, which, by the way, has a chance of instantly killing your character. Although, Hutch instantly killed me there, though. Keep in mind, this is only at level 77. We do have a level advantage, and he is still doing a lot of damage. Like I said, this boss is no joke. This is probably the single reason why you want to have other stuff. Also, he has Arch Seal as well. Okay, let's use armor. That armor was actually really timed. We actually died anyways to it anyway, but and yes, Art Seal is a thing that happens as well. If we had debuff resistance, we could potentially avoid that. Oh, well, Che. That almost felt like the ultimate fight. Keep in mind, it was only level 77. But it definitely put up a fight. Yeah, do not fight that guy under-leveled. Definitely. You might even want to just fight him at level 80. If you are worried about him, one thing you can do, which I did not do this time, but you can do, is put topple resist gems on everyone and at least one instant death resist or debuff resist gems on Nene. But ideally, you probably just want to have debuff resist gems on literally everyone if you can. Because if you max that out, then you won't have to worry about that insta-death effect appears. But I think the insta-death is actually kind of a separate thing, but debuff resist is actually AoE. So just make sure you have that on everyone. I'll just kind of show you. Especially on your attacking characters, you're going to want to have topple resist topple gems, which basically allows you to potentially resist topple. I don't know if that's a status effect or not, but it does feel like it's tricky. But yeah, anyways, wow. Now you can see why I avoided that monster. I was correct in that it was one of the hardest fights in the game. In fact, that's probably the hardest unique monster up to this point here. Anyways, that one's pretty... Anyways, the first guy is pretty straightforward. It's not really that bad. Alright. Fun fact, the next one is also in a cave, but is in the Nervous Acropolis, the same area that we fight a different unique. Unlike the previous ones, though, that we literally just killed, it is much easier. It's also not even a fog beast to begin with. Note, the last battle will probably be a bit more rougher. Essentially, though, you just kind of want to travel around here, where one of these random monsters here, sometimes walking here, will be unique. That's basically what you're looking for. We already killed it in a previous playthrough, though, so we're going to skip that. Okay, so this next one is actually in an area that we haven't explored yet. Strangletarn is also conveniently next to another unique monster spawn location, which, by the way, I'll just show you over there, is basically that big tortoise we killed earlier. It did not respawn this time, but yes, there would be a big tortoise there normally. So that's where that is. As for the last unique, that is basically over here by this random lake area. Yeah, I think it would actually be next to all of these unique monsters, but we already killed it in a previous battle, so... Oh, actually, never mind. It might still be coming yet. I didn't know that these guys just appear. He's from me. Yeah, okay, it should actually be around here, maybe, so I guess I'll just walk down the whole area and make sure I'm not missing anything. But anyways, around here, there would normally be unique here, but looks like we already killed it, just like the others, so we are just going to skip it instead. Alright. Sorry, this is a lot of stress, but, sorry if this is really stressful, but I do want to get all these uniques done at some point. Alright, so now we have Marquist OD and a couple of other stuff, but honestly, I'm just gonna do a brief walk around. It's not actually gonna take that long. Annoyingly enough, these monsters are... While these monsters are barely out of the level range, the uniques are not, so even if we did do a different strategy, they would actually pull anyways. Anyway, I am going to show this off because this is actually where I did basically all of my grinding, was exclusively here. Other than that, there really is not much to talk about this game having left. Like I said, the only thing that really is left after this is the 2 side quests, and from there we're pretty much done. Like I said, that plot is pretty short this time around. Tornado of Bill and Country actually felt more like a full game compared to this, but it's still a pretty cool epilogue and definitely worth playing. Just maybe not really something you do more than once. It's also probably going to understand a bit more if you've played the base game. By the way, if you haven't played that, please watch my playthrough on that. It is very amazing, and you'll see that this game is definitely fun to play. Alright, anyways, I went down that spot over there. I forgot to mention, there's one unique over there, but I already killed it when... Actually, just the previous episode we did that. Then there's a unique that's supposed to be here. This one would actually be guarding a friendship bracelet for the friendship bracelet quest. But I found if you just pull them away and eventually have them retreat and then just kind of sneak in the back, you can actually grab it without even fighting them at all, which is actually kind of a cheeky strat. don't mind me. My guide that I'm trying to look at for this just constantly resets. It gets really awkward. Anyways, Ravager or Pelsia is probably the trolliest enemies. Alright, now for the actually last ultimate monster. This one you may have only seen a couple of times, but y'all know that it is definitely a monster to be feared. Thankfully, it's fairly straightforward to find. It is literally in the same area, and by the way, yes, there's that Cyclonic Ugana now. It has respawned. I'm not going to kill it because I'm actually kind of running low on time. I will briefly show you in my last video, though, how I... Oh, frick, I might actually pull it now. That was really dumb. Okay, I am going to be doing a lure strategy for this, because this is going to become particularly dangerous, because this is a flat beast, so it does also increase the level of all the other monsters, and it would make this fight so dangerous that we would probably die right away anyways. In fact, we'd probably die anyways if we had not done the strategy before, so... Oh, and apparently there's also a fog beast nearby that beast as well. Well, yeah, we know what we're doing. Time to clean house and destroy all of the enemies here, starting with this weak fog beast. Thankfully, this one does not hold the bunnies nearby, but the previous one will. Anyways, thankfully, this is the last unique in the game. There are no other uniques present. There is technically one other, but it's not counted as a unique monster. I believe it does give you an art coin, but it's technically not counted as a unique monster because it's just required for a quest, so you only get to fight it once. But anyways, this guy is the ultimate boss in this game. Not a super boss though, so you can out-level it and kill it that way if you want. I am however going to be doing it at level. Both because I didn't want to waste a lot of time when doing this, and also because the setup is crazy. By the way, don't be afraid to run from this fight. This guy is really mean if you kill any of the weaker enemies. Thankfully, you only have to do one lure to get out the bunnies, but yes, you do have to fight 5 or 6 of them. Thankfully, this is kind of convenient, because this does give you your Pawn Spectre thing right away, and then from there you can probably time that at some point later during the fight. Speaking of which, I do not think I did that properly when I was fighting the Kronlar, so in hindsight, I probably should have gotten my meter up higher, but it should definitely be up this time, so the save time will probably run into the battle. Anyways, if you don't pull these bunnies, yeah, they get set to 79 as well, and it just becomes very impossible, so save your stash, here we go. The strongest unique in the game right here is about to be fought. We actually skipped this guy. He does have a chest that he's guarding, but you can actually get it without fighting him. But now we're actually going to fight him properly. And he is a fog beast, so if there are any monsters nearby, they will automatically pull, so do be careful. Other than that, I do not know much. He probably will be a little bit easier, though, just due to the fact that the insta-death spike is crazy. One thing I will try to do a bit more, though, that I didn't do in the previous fight, is definitely use Monado Armor a bunch. Like I said, if you're struggling with any of these fights, Shulk Monado Armor is the best art in the game. There's honestly no reason you should even use any of the arts. If you spam that enough, you'll take a lot less damage, and it just makes these fights really trivial. Which is also why you want to level it up as much as possible, because once played properly, it's probably the only art you'll really need. My guide even mentions not to use anything other than Mal art, and because of that, I have other stuff. And yes, I do have double attack. That is actually specifically just to make my Monado gauge recharge a bit faster, since each attack will technically count as filling the talent gauge. Otherwise, not much to say about this fight. Compared to the previous fight, he's actually more of a weakling. If anything, that King before is actually probably the ultimate fight, considering he has pretty much everything. Some annoying status effects, and a massive AoE, that crazy dance, which is automatically followed by an attack, which, if it connects, can potentially affect instant death. It typically goes for Nene though. Thankfully, she did have Divine Protect. I actually was going to remove that for the battle, but I'm actually glad I forgot because that saved us a lot. Anyway, because I was a bit worried, I decided to wait a bit on my Red Comet, just both to have it do more damage, and also because I feel like it'd be cooler to kill here. And also to finish the fight. Now, there is actually a good reason to do this. He does actually summon more ads if he gets really low on health, but if you just use the Pun Spectre thing there, you can just kill him like that, and there you go. And just from doing all that, we are almost level 80. Don't worry, we will probably hit level 80 after the next couple of battles, but there you have it. Pretty much every unique monster in the game has now been completely killed, and now you're probably wondering, how did I even go farming all these art coins? Well, thankfully that's very straightforward. Now before we do this, we do want to do some art changes, because this is going to be probably the last time we do art changing in basically the whole game. So anyways, there we go. As you can see, not many uniques in the game. Only one of them posed any threat. I will admit we were not prepared for that topple fully. I feel like I could have had more topple resist stems, but yeah, whatever. We made it through. That's all that counts, really. Alright, so I'm gonna try and balance this out, so and Nene will get their abilities first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, yeah, I think she actually has all of them. Alright, I do not know what arts to buy in the right side order, so I'll actually just start buying all of the other arts on other characters. Followed by Berserk, and then probably after that, oh yeah, Magnum Starch. Yeah, I guess there's that. And then I'm gonna buy all of Melia's arts last, because there's a specific reason for this, because I do actually want to use her come the final boss. Some people are probably going to be say like, oh, maybe I should have used Melia in the fight. So for that single purpose and single purpose only, I'm actually gonna upgrade the rest of her abilities after all those other ones. I'm not going to be using Reflection, so there's probably no reason to do that, but I probably want to buy these other ones just in case. Anyways, we're going to do all of that, and then we're just going to try and see how many abilities in our default setup we can upgrade to level 10. Anyway, sorry about that. That was a lot to cover, but we'll start by leveling the other characters' abilities first. See it. Pretty much almost got all of the abilities maxed. Unfortunately, there's not really a good way to get more of them maxed. You probably just have to keep doing that extensive grind non-stop, so it gets really trolly. For Shulk, I think I actually want to level up a couple of arts that are a little bit different, so let's actually do Light Heal first, and then for Mono Arts, like I said, there's not really much worth in leveling up anything other than Monado Armor, so I'm actually gonna pick Monado Armor. By the way, I don't think the actual buff setup will use Monado Armor whenever we do the final boss, so you'll see that this will become balanced, believe me. Anyways, since I don't need any of that, I think I'm just gonna level up Shadow Eye next. I should have actually done that first, before, but I kind of forgot. I'll do Air Slash one more level then as well, and that should be fine for him. Then for you, I'm pretty much just gonna do all the heals first. Okay, I'll do that. Kino's done, and then for Melia, I think I'm just gonna assume that doing this safer, and I'll just balance her arts up one level at a time, just to create a more balanced build. Oh, she does actually have Healing Gift, interesting. I will be using that. Other than that, not much to say. Mind Blast can be useful, by the way, depending on its setup, but typically most bosses are immune to Art Seal, so it's not really that useful. They'll see, though, that this will become very interesting, mind you. But, now that that nonsense is finally over with, let's just briefly... You know what? It'd probably be faster to just do that in the next episode. So sorry guys, I'm not gonna show you how I grinded my characters up and did other stuff, because as it turns out, this is the end of the episode. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you like, if you enjoyed, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video, which will probably be the bonus finale, because it's just a couple of quests and that's probably it. I did check. There's about 41 quests here. I'm on the last 2, so yeah, I'm pretty much done with this game. So until then, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.